Williams, defensive back.
This is RJ Moreno, running back.
This is Noah Drum, wide receiver.
This is Mason Meyer, defensive end.
This is Johnny Knight, defensive back.
This is Dylan Cahill, slot receiver.
This is Gage Leggett, defensive back, and you're listening to Georgetown Eagle Football on SHN Sports.
Hey, well, good Tuesday evening, Burger University. Can everybody hear me out there tonight in the back, in the very back? Coach Dean, can you hear me back there, Coach? Awesome. Well, I know there's a lot of guests in here that are just eating burgers tonight. We normally have our coaches show on Wednesday nights, but tonight we're having the Eagle Nation coaches show here on Tuesday because Georgetown will play football on Thursday. So anybody in here just enjoying a burger tonight, can we give our guest a round of applause and Burger University? Thank y'all for being here tonight. Well, please join me as we now welcome Georgetown Eagle head football coach Jason Dean. Let's give it up for Coach Dean. Well, Coach, we have, I would say, finally arrived to Week 10, but, you know, it seems like it was just yesterday we were starting the season, so it's really not finally. How is it for you, Coach?
Well, you know, it just depends. It's one of those things that you think about. You think about certain incidents that seem like forever ago. You think back to the opening show when we did it in the locker room, and that seemed like it was last week. You know, so it just depends on, I guess, what you're thinking about.
Well, again, we appreciate everything this year, Coach, your accessibility, and excited to be here tonight a day early as Georgetown will play on Thursday. We'll talk about that game a little bit later here in the show. Georgetown, though, as we rewind and look back at last week, defeated Rouse here in Georgetown 34-14. Let's give it up for the Georgetown Eagles. Great job by those young men again. We'll talk about the defense and the offensive effort. Georgetown now third in District 11 5A Division I. They're 6-3 overall, 3-2 in district play, and they secured a playoff berth, so we are in the playoffs, baby. So we're excited about all of that. Well, Coach, first of all, of course, congratulations on the win and securing that playoff spot. You know, as we look back at last week at halftime, Georgetown led Rouse 20-7. Your defense, once again, was solid in this game following their performance versus Maynard just a week before that. Can you highlight some of those defensive plays and really talk about the defense and the great effort that they did and what worked well for Georgetown, Coach?
Sure. You know, going into the week, we talked about, you know, here last week we talked about just having to stop Rouse's running game. Just didn't do a great job of throwing the football. Not that they're bad at it. They just don't attempt it a lot. You know, that held true the other night. So anytime we can make a team one-dimensional, you know, I think it helps our defensive effort. And you know, I can't say enough good stuff about our defensive staff and our especially our players. Just really doing a good job of buying into their coaching, being very coachable, and then playing with great effort. You know, on Friday night, and we talk all the time. Playing great defense is about great effort, and you know, I think our guys are continue to do that well.
Well, this was another game where the ground game was working extremely well for Georgetown, 257 yards. As we look at the rushing stats, Coach, how impressed were you with the running game versus Rouse?
Really, really, really good. You know, I thought all three of our running backs did a great job of you know, carrying the football for us. We don't really plan it this way, but you know, all three of our running backs, I think, ended up with the exact amount of carries. You know, obviously not the exact same amount of yards, but the same amount of carries. And, you know, and then Jackson also, he's kind of our fourth running back, you know, did a great job pulling the football and running the other night. I think we just had maybe 5 or 6 times that he ran the football. So that was good, you know, just that he's not taking extra hits. But just really proud of our offensive line, you know, and our running backs doing a good job running the football.
Well, talking about that, Jackson Siosin accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 of those including passes to Chris Martinez and Dylan Cahill for touchdowns. I'm sure you are, but, Coach, happy with the offensive performance. They put up 34 points.
Sure. You know, Rob, we've talked about now for several weeks. Our offense looks a little different this year than it has in the years past, but we're starting to get the results on the scoreboard that we want. You know, somebody asked me at the end of last game, Coach, are you concerned about your offense? You know, and I said, absolutely not. You know, I'm concerned about winning and losing. And we're managing to put wins up on the board. We're being efficient offensively. We're doing a pretty good job of taking care of the football. You know, we had an interception last week, but we're not putting the ball on the ground as far as fumbles go. And anytime you can do that and take care of the football and continue to play good defense, just be efficient offensively, I think you got a chance to win a lot of games.
Coach, some other players too that we normally don't get to see a whole lot of play time on the field versus Rouse. They came in. Can you talk about their play and getting those guys some minutes in this ball game?
Sure. It was really important to our coaching staff and to me to reward our players that they come to practice. Every single wind sprint that we run, they run. Every single squat in the squat rack they do. That's not just for starters and non-starters. I mean, that's a team deal. And so it was really important for me, our last home game, that our guys, our seniors specifically, got to go in and have some significant minutes. And I think every player on our team got at least 2 drives, and so that was a big deal.
And it was good, too. Martinez got a touch in there, got a touchdown. That's got to be exciting for him getting that score as well.
It was. Chris is just now really coming back from injury from the Stephenville game. I think we lost him on the first series back, on the last non-district game. He's played a couple weeks, but just now starting to get his feet back under him again. I was really excited for Chris being able to catch a touchdown.
Coach, some areas in this game that you felt from a coaching standpoint that Georgetown struggled a bit. There wasn't a whole lot, but maybe some areas that you can think of specifically where Georgetown had some struggles. Yeah,
as much as I've bragged on us defensively and just continue to really be proud of those kids on the defensive side of the ball, we struggled at times making sure that we kept contained. We were allowing the ball to get on the edge sometimes when maybe we shouldn't have. And there's always communication, things that we could do better. I think our kids would tell you that we can do a better job communicating. So, those little small things that you may not can see from the stands or from the press box that we know and our players know that are happening on the field, there's always those little things that we can clean up and do a better job of.
Well, Coach, before we talk about this coming up week, some closing comments regarding that Rouse game. You've mentioned quite a bit, but maybe a few final thoughts on that, Coach.
Sure. I think it's really important, Rob, to play well at home. And if you look back at our home games this year, we managed. I think we dropped one game at home. We won 4 of them. So it was good to close our seniors out on the last guaranteed game, at Birkelbach Field. Obviously, in the playoffs, you can still flip a home-and-home situation and maybe, end up with a game at home. But it was really good for our seniors to finish out the last guaranteed game they got at their home stadium with a big win.
And I was going to mention that as it was senior night, a lot of seniors there. And even after the game, Coach, we saw several players. It was great to let them have that opportunity. Some of the seniors went out there. We saw them laying on the field, laying on the logo. A special moment for those guys, Coach.
It is. There's if you're not directly involved in it, if you're not a parent of one of these guys that's directly involved in it, you might miss exactly how much time and effort, sweat equity those guys put in, on that field. And we talk about our home field being special. We talk about it being a place that we want to play well at. And so it was a big deal for those guys.
Awesome. Well, Coach, as we look ahead now, of course, this Thursday, a special Thursday game, so we will have live coverage of the Thursday game. Georgetown facing a Pflugerville-Connolly team on the road at the field, the new facility there in Pflugerville that's been there for a couple of years now. That on Thursday. The Cougars 1-8 this season. They're winless in district play at 0-5. But, Coach, Georgetown is poised for a win in this one, but Connolly is going to have their guard trying to secure a district win in the last game of the season. They're out of the playoffs, but they would desperately love to get a win against Georgetown in the last game of the season. What's Georgetown going to have to be on alert for versus these Connolly Cougars, Coach?
Well, I think you could talk about it maybe in a wounded animal type, mentality. You never know what you're going to get when you're playing somebody that doesn't have anything to play for, anymore. I know their head football coach really well. Jason Cecil does a great job. Has done a great job at the different programs that he's been at. Good football coach, a good motivator. And I fully expect his team to show up ready to cut it loose. There's not if you got to start off season early, there's not a better way to start it than off of a victory. That'll give those guys some momentum. So I fully expect those guys to give us their very best effort this coming Thursday night. And for those of us that have seen Connolly play over the last several years, we understand what kind of athletes they have, and just being so athletic just lends them to being able to get in a game. If we don't take care of business like we should, their athleticism is going to allow them to hang around and be a nuisance at the end of the game.
Coach, is there any players specifically on that Connolly team that we can be on alert for in this game?
Sure. Their wide receiver, number 1, he's the leading receiver in the district. I think he has 80 total catches on the year, which is impressive. He does a great job of you know, finding space in the secondary and catching balls. Probably the best thing that he does with it is being able to make yards after the catch. So we got to do a great job, you know, of making sure we know where he's at all the time.
Well, Coach, of course, we talked about it, this game, a Thursday game. Does that change any of the weekly normal routine for you guys, or just kind of set everything back a day? Talk about that, how it works when we play on Thursday.
Sure. You know, it's set tonight different. You know, I mean, that's just a good example. There are many things that go into a week of preparation, and we're kind of creatures of habit, coaches and players are. And, you know, we kind of have certain things that we do on Monday, certain things we do on Tuesday, and certain things we do on Wednesday and Thursday, you know, while we're getting ready for the game. And anytime you kind of mess that schedule up, you know, then it throws a kink in that a little bit, and you've got to make adjustments. I think our guys have done a great job this week of adjusting to a schedule a little bit. Really, a Monday for us was really pretty normal. Today was really pretty normal again. Tomorrow is the day that will be a little bit different. We'll have to we'll miss a weight room workout this week. We will make tomorrow morning more like a Thursday morning, and then we'll make tomorrow after school more like a Wednesday would be in the morning. So there are some adjustments, but I think our kids have handled that really well.
Well, Coach, Georgetown, of course, clinching the playoffs again this season, doing it again consecutively as Georgetown has became a playoff team. We know it's kind of a thing now where if Georgetown isn't in the playoffs, we're wondering what's going on. So hats off, congratulations on that. It speaks a lot. Let's give Coach a round, and also the staff at Georgetown, a round of applause on that. You know, a lot of teams every year just want to get into the playoffs. I know that you guys were set really wanting to get that district crown this year, but then especially wanting to get into the playoffs. You got there, Coach. Do you have any information? I know we still got to play Connally, but any information yet on any potential first-round matchups at this time?
Sure. You know, I have a lot of information, really, and all of it's still up in the air. You know, we're going to play the Austin District, which includes the AISD 5A schools, along with Seguin and Dripping Springs are all in that district as well. Our opponents, we know some people that we're definitely not going to play. We're not going to it looks like McCallum has the fourth place spot in that district wrapped up. But the first, second, and third place spot out of the district is still up for grabs with McCallum, LBJ, and Seguin playing on Friday night. And so we could play either one of those schools. There's LBJ, Seguin, and Dripping Springs that we could still possibly play.
I think the Matadors, that's one team in the first round we would definitely want to avoid, but if it happens, it happens. I know that Georgetown's going to be ready. Good friend of mine, Mike McBride, calls those games for Seguin, and a great school down there. Coach, as we wrap up here, as we're looking ahead, can you tell us this week kind of how our practices, how's the team's overall health at this point of the season?
You know, we're starting to get some kids back that we lost earlier in the year. You've already mentioned Chris Martinez a little bit. He missed some games earlier in the year. Brock Spartman is back from an injury. We're starting to get some guys back again. We did end up having one of our linebackers that was injured the other night that's going to miss some time. So it's just really, if you think about the week 10 of the season, I would say that our overall health is still really good, you know, at this point. There are many teams that have, you know, 5 or 6 guys out, and we're not in that group, so that's been good.
Well, Coach, final thoughts here before we wrap up as we look ahead. Final thoughts on that Connally matchup and just your overall assessment of the team so far this season, Coach.
Well, you know, I just really do appreciate you and SHN Sports and all that you guys do for our football team. You know, you always brag on me being available and coming up here and doing this. This is really part of my job. You know, it's not yours. You know, this is something that you do on the side, and we're just so appreciative of you guys. You know, I say this all the time, but I probably don't get a chance to say it publicly enough, how much I appreciate our parents and our booster club. You know, I think our support in Georgetown is second to none of anybody across the state of Texas, and that's just because we got great parents and great support from our community, and that's what makes coaching and playing in Georgetown such a neat deal.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we appreciate you. Thanks for those kind words. Appreciate all the Georgetown community. Let's give it up one more time. Georgetown Eagle head football coach Jason Dean. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. We've got a couple of guests here in the house tonight. One of them's David England. David running cameras for us, also a Georgetown Fire. Can we give David a round of applause? And a couple of weeks ago, my beautiful girlfriend says, "You never mentioned me, so can we give Bridget? Bridget's here, sweetheart. We love you." somewhere. I don't. She walked in a few minutes ago, so she'll have to go back and see this. Great. Anyways, appreciate everybody being here tonight as we move into our third segment as we interview some of our guests here. Can you please join me in welcoming Georgetown Eagles senior defensive lineman number 25, Jonathan Nightmare. Come on, Jonathan. Jonathan Neitch, come on up. Johnny Nightmare in the house. And, man, your holiday just passed. Halloween, man. Did you bring the Nightmare for Halloween, Johnny?
Well, of course I did. You already know.
Well, Johnny, we appreciate you being here and all the great things that you guys do on defense. Here in Georgetown, of course, your brother got to watch him growing up, and now you kind of following in the footsteps. Talk a little bit. How long have you been in Georgetown, Johnny?
I was born and raised in Georgetown.
Born and raised in G-Town. So we got one from back in the day, man. So we appreciate you being here. Some of your hobbies, Johnny, I know you like basketball. Some of your hobbies outside of football, man.
Well, I like to fish a lot. I just be out in the wilderness, really picking up disc golf. That's my new thing now.
All right.
Really love disc golf.
Any other disc golf players in here? Raise a hand. There we go, Taco.
Oh yeah, there you go, Taco.
Taco showing some support back there. Well, in talking about basketball, watching you play on the court last year and basketball season kind of starting to gear up, but you're still focused on football. Can you tell us a little bit about basketball and how much you enjoy playing that as well?
Well, basketball was like I grew up playing basketball, and so I really loved the game, really loved the sport, and I'm really excited for the team this year, for the basketball team, because look out for us. We're going to be real good.
There you go. And, hey, I want to give a special recognition. Johnny named alongside Caden Eckert as captains this year. Let's give a round of applause for Johnny on that. He told me, he goes, as a freshman, I never would have imagined that I would be the captain, and so congratulations on that. What's your thoughts on that, man? I think it's awesome.
I just think it's really great, be able to lead and show younger guys, not only in the football program but in the basketball program, what it takes to be a leader and what it takes to be great at a sport.
Awesome. And talking about your family too, you guys go back several generations. I think 3 generations here in Georgetown. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Well, as we continue to talk to Johnny Neitch here, last week a great defensive effort as I talked to Coach Dean. Again, you guys had the great defensive effort versus Manor. You came out versus Rouse. What were some of the highlights of that game for you, Johnny?
Well, some great things. Just we all swarmed to the ball. We got plenty of silver helmets to the ball almost every play, and so just watching everybody corral the ball carrier and just bring them down.
Well, as a senior on the team, can you talk a little bit about your role on the defense?
Well, my role on the defense is huge, just communication and leading and helping the younger DBs that we have out there, like John Miranda, Saul De La Rosa. They're doing a great job out there also. But just helping them understand what their goals are, what they're supposed to do on certain plays. That's what I do out there pretty much. So
Georgetown back in the playoffs again this season. What's going through your mind right now?
Ooh, playoffs this season, deep. We're going to go deep in playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind.
There we go. Can we hear
No doubt
it?
in my mind.
There you go. Well, you're a senior this year, Johnny. Can you talk about a little bit what's been some of the highlights for you, maybe not just as a senior but throughout your high school career? What are you thinking of right now as far as high school, man?
Well, I've really enjoyed my time here at Georgetown High School. It's been great. Almost halfway through my senior year. That's my last year. And it's just going to be a surreal feeling because I know that after high school, you're out in the world, you're out hitting life, and it's going to hit you right in the face. And so it hasn't really sunk in yet. I know it's going to hit me way harder when I graduate, but
hey, enjoy it, man. Don't let it sink in right now because you still got a lot of high school left, man.
But Coach Dean always talks about how our dads or our grandparents would do anything to go back out on the field, go back out on the court, one more drive, just one more snap. And so I just try to let it all sink in, give it my all every single chance I get.
Awesome, Johnny. Well, you guys on a short schedule this week. How does that affect you as a player?
Well, you have to really adapt to the change in practices and change in practice schedules. Like as Coach Dean said, we're not going to do a weight room workout on Wednesday. Instead, we're going to do our Thursday stuff. And so really it's just you have to maintain your focus and look at the big picture, look and focus on your goal to accomplish that goal, which is beating Conley on Thursday night.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your influences? I know you've got some great parents that are always got your back. Talk a little bit about your influences growing up, man.
A huge influence was my dad, just because he was always my basketball coach. He was always like my mentor. He was just everything that inspired me to be and do athletics. And so he's on that basketball wall of honor at Georgetown, and so I aspire to be on that wall, hopefully at the end of this season. And my mom is she's creative, she's smart, and she always helps me with my schoolwork, and so she's huge when it comes to that aspect of my life.
So your brother, of course, played baseball.
Yes.
What, you got the baseball bug too, or not?
Well, I used to play baseball. I let him have that one. I didn't want to take the spotlight off him, so I just let him have that one.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, Johnny, as your senior year winding down, we're looking forward to the remainder of the football season. We don't want to jump too far ahead, but looking forward to basketball as well. But we're still very excited about football. Tell us a little bit about your future plans. Where would you like to be in school? Where would you like to be in college? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm hoping to make it into A&M. And
there we go. Any Aggies in here in the house? Any Aggies? Just a couple there. We got a couple tonight. A couple.
And I'm going to study biology and become an anesthesiologist.
Really? Awesome, man. Great stuff, Johnny. Well, the camera right there on you. All of Aggie Nation, Aggie Land is watching you right now on the camera, live stream. Who do you want to give a shout-out to tonight, Johnny?
I'd like to give a shout-out to Taco, Tommy, Jackson Siosin, Alex Steele, Gage Leggett, Nick Petter, Tyler Knowles, Mason Meyer, Colby Cummings, Connor Cummings, Braden Hargrove, Jack Schneeman, Matt Anderson, Johan Salas, Taylor Beal, and just the whole offense and defense as a whole. The team, baby.
Hey, there's another shout-out they're begging for.
Brenda Siosin. How could I forget Brenda Siosin? I am so sorry. That's my fault.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, another just great outspoken young man here at Georgetown High School, and not only on the football field but out in the community. Can you please join me in giving one more round of applause for Johnny Neitsch? Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate it. Thank you, Johnny. Well, we've interviewed Johnny. It's always great to talk to him, and now we've got another man of the next few moments that I'm excited to bring up. Can you please join me in welcoming Eagle Junior offensive lineman number 52, Alex Steele. Come on up, Alex. And Alex, I got to give you a special shout out. I know Mr. Thiel, the president of Booster Club in football, but you've been at all these coaches shows, man. I don't think you've missed one yet.
I don't think so.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause for that, man. The Eagle support flowing through. And here's the thing about Alex too. If you tell Alex something, he's got a photogenic memory, because there was things that I forgot last week, and your dad said just ask Alex. He remembers everything. So what's that current trivia score, offense and defense, right now? Offense
is up 16-11.
There you go. Okay, so we'll do that here in a little bit. And see, I needed you to tell me that because I had forgot. So thanks, man. Well, let's talk a little bit here to Alex Steele. How long have you been here in Georgetown, Alex?
Since third grade.
Third grade. Some of your hobbies outside of football, man?
Well, I play basketball. I like hanging out with friends, but during the season it's mostly football and school and sleep.
Awesome. Are you on the basketball team here at Georgetown?
I have been. I'm not going to play this year though.
Just focusing on football and excited about you guys are in the playoffs now.
Sure.
Well, let's talk about Rouse a little bit, Alex. Georgetown had a great running game versus Rouse. You put up 34 points on the offensive end. Can you talk about how impressed you were with your offense and those guys, and you're a contributing factor on that as well? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think it was all kind of this whole year's work coming into fruition. Like all year we've been putting in work at practice, everything like that, and then this game it kind of came out.
Well, last week, almost 300 yards of total run offense. Talk about your role on that line and the things that you do alongside your teammates to help make that possible, because without you guys up front, that's not possible. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it's great having great running backs and a great running quarterback, because we can just make a small hole and then they can, turn that into a big gain. But, it starts with the O-line. So once we make the holes, then they can go shine.
Awesome, man. And talk a little bit more, just, you talked about just creating areas for your guys to run. Talk more about your role as a junior on the team, and do you provide some leadership to some of the other – because there's a few sophomores on the team. Talk about your role in that spot.
Yeah, so this is my second year on varsity, so, I kind of have a leadership role just because I've played about as much as, most of the seniors have, so it's just kind of looking up, the new juniors that are on varsity for the first time, and it's kind of just got to step up.
And with the Georgetown school that has a lot of players, and we're talking the sub-varsity teams, you as a varsity player, as a sophomore, that's impressive. Let's give him a round of applause. That takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So hats off to you on that, Alex. Well, Georgetown, of course, now in the playoffs. What are you looking forward to the most right now?
Getting gold footballs. I mean, last year, the Huntsville game, that was great after we won. Like, the feeling after that, it was crazy. So I'm just hoping to get that six more times this year.
And when you're talking about the gold footballs, of course, talking about the UIL trophy that you guys get. Yeah. So, in the community, we're behind you guys. We want to see those gold footballs as well, and we know that you guys have what it takes to get out there and make it happen. Talking a little bit more, you've got a year left. So are you starting to kind of think maybe what's going to happen after you're a senior, or are you still thinking, well, I got a lot of high school left? What's going through your mind in that regard?
I'm starting to think about it after high school, but I'm still kind of I have a year left to think about it. So I have plenty of time to decide.
Got plenty of time, so don't rush yourself, man. Well, whatever your dad says, do that, but I'm just telling you, don't rush yourself. Well, as we continue to talk to Alex Thiel here, talk about some of your influences. Who's really made a difference in your life and made an impact for you, Alex?
Definitely my parents. I've been able to look up to them with anytime I have a problem, I can talk to them. They give me leadership. And also Coach Bond. He's helped me a lot once I got to high school. He's helped me through stuff. He's a great influence.
So far this year, football winding down, what's been some of your favorite memories so far this year on the football team, Alex?
Well, kind of just winning games. It's great this year because a lot of the games are closer. Last year we had a pretty weak district, so it'd be a lot of blowouts. And it's nice this year, winning a close game. That feels better than winning just a huge blowout.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was one of the questions I have. With the realignment now this season, what are some of the changes that you've seen from being a sophomore now to a junior and playing some new teams? It's been a little bit tougher, but still facing some familiar faces. Mm-hmm. Talk about a little bit of the changes, though.
Well, it's really weird having so few district games. Last year, it was almost every game was a district game. Then this year, we went from a 9-team down to a 7-team. So it's just every game matters that much more.
Awesome. I just asked you a little bit, future plans. You're still kind of thinking right now?
I want to play in college. So.
Any eyes on any schools at this particular moment that you can think of?
I want to visit at Rice this weekend, so that was fun.
Awesome, man. So give it up for that. Any Rice fan? There we go. Hey, maybe Baylor, by any chance. I'm still waiting on one of you guys to go to Baylor, man. So, by the way, Baylor beat OSU. Any Baylor fans in here in the house? Not many, but Baylor's got 4 or 5 wins this season, so I'm excited, man. Well, before we let you go, camera right there on you, Alex. Of course, when you stepped up here, the number went through the roof on the live views, Alex. Who do you want to give a shout-out to? A little love here from Georgetown, Texas tonight.
Shout-out to T-Dub, shout-out to Taco, Siosin, Johnny, Brenda. Shout-out to the rest of the O-line.
Awesome. Let's give it up one more time. Alex, stay here with us. We're doing trivia. Let's give it up for Alex Thiel, though, your Georgetown junior, making things happen. This is our last and final segment. Well, second to last. We'll bring up the team now, all the guys in the house, for a little trivia challenge. As Alex reminded a while ago, the offense currently leading 16-11. So if the offense can line up here to the left and the defense to the right, you guys may have to get a little closer here on the offense because these 2 chairs, you won't be able to sit there tonight. We're doing a little NFL trivia again this week. We'll wait for some more of these players to come up here real quick. Taco got some special help over here, man. He's got his Googler over here. Don't pull out that Google phone, man. He said yes. There's a headset there, Taco. So currently, right now, offense is leading.
Hands off, Johnny.
Offense leading the defense 16-11. 16-11. Before we get started, can you guys pass around the microphone? We'll start here with Alex. Say your name, your class, and your position.
Alex Thiel, junior, O-line.
Jackson Siosin, quarterback. Senior.
Tommy Wilson, junior, JV offensive line.
Johnny Natch, senior, DB.
Taco Williams, junior, defensive back.
Tommy, have you been here before to the coaches show?
Yeah, comes every week.
Oh,
yeah, I come almost every week.
Man, what is bad on me? I just need to keep my mouth shut, man. Well, we're about to get started. 5 questions this week. Again, the offense leading 16-11 as we will get started here. And we will start. Let's do a little paper, rock, scissors. Whoever gets it first goes. So we'll determine who goes first tonight by a little paper, rock, scissors.
All right.
So here we go. Go ahead, guys.
On shoot. Yeah, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh, all right. All right. So it looks like the offense going to start things off here tonight.
Wow.
16-11 lead. Remember, guys, we're going to have another coaches show next week as well. So we'll be here all throughout the playoffs. So the running total will continue throughout the playoffs. So there's still plenty of time for the defense to catch up. 5 questions tonight, which means you got to make a run at the table to catch up. It's 16-11. Every question matters.
We got it.
Defense won last year, though. Offense trying to regain this trophy, guys, right here.
They won't.
This is the VIP trophy right here. Here we go. First question, who is the oldest? What is the oldest team in the NFL? The oldest team in the NFL. Is it A, the Bears, B, the Cardinals, C, the Giants, or D, the Packers? A, Bears, B, Cardinals, C, Giants, D, Packers. We'll give you 8 seconds. Just enough time to do a little rodeo for 8 seconds, and then we're down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 seconds. Offense, who do you got?
D.
D, Packers.
We got the Bears.
The Bears. You guys are both wrong. As the Cardinals, 1898 is when the Cardinals were officially founded. So it remains 16-11. Yes, look it up, Google it, Wikipedia it. I promise, I double-checked. Double-checked this week. This trivia challenge is starting to get intense, man. Second question, what year was the first NFL playoff game? The first NFL playoff game, what year? The first NFL playoff game. Don't let it misdirect you, because I'm talking NFL playoff game. Was it A, 1970, B, 1920, C, 1932, or D, 1967? Again, what year was the first NFL playoff game? 1970, 1920, 1932, or 1967? We will go over to the defense in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, Taco.
All right, we're going to go with 1967.
67, D, okay, offense. It was 1970, 1920, 1932, or 1967. You got 2 seconds.
1932.
32 is correct. Offense got it 17-11. Third question. Third question, guys. Here we go. Who has the most touchdowns in a rookie season? In a rookie season, who has the most overall touchdowns? Is it A, Gale Sayers? Is it B, Ezekiel Elliott? C, Barry Sanders? Or D, Adrian Peterson? Again, Gale Sayers, Ezekiel Elliott, Barry Sanders, or Adrian Peterson? Offense will have it in 5 seconds. You guys ready? Yeah. Okay.
Gale Sayers.
Gale Sayers, your answer? Defense.
B.
B. Who was?
B.
All right. Gale Sayers, Ezekiel Elliott, Barry Sanders, or Adrian Peterson?
We're going Sanders.
Sanders, not correct. Gale Sayers is correct. He had 22 his rookie season. 18-11. I promise he can't see the answers. I've got them turned right here, guys. Next week, though, just in case, we're going to set the defense to my left. Just in case.
Don't worry, they've been sitting.
We're going to do hockey trivia next week.
Oh, yeah, they have been sitting to the left. Whoa, man. All right, never mind. It's all right, guys. Hey, there's still plenty of time. Come on, guys. Let's give it up for the defense. Let's cheer them on. Let's let them get this one here. 2 questions remaining. There you go. Johnny said we have 6 weeks to come back. That's what I'm talking about, man. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Johnny. All right. Fourth question here. What is the most consecutive titles that a team has ever won? The most consecutive titles a team has ever won, football team. Is it A3, B8, C4, or D2? Again, the answer is A3, B8, C4, D2. Yeah, it's just total titles. Total titles. Super Bowls, whatever. Total titles.
Do we have a who? Titles of Super Bowl?
No, just titles.
Titles. No, I'm talking about like world championships, Super Bowls, and whatever was before that.
Do we have a who?
Can't tell you who. That's That may give it away. Can't tell you who. So what is the most consecutive titles a team has ever won? A, 3, B, 8, C, 4, or D, 2? The defense will answer this one first. Defense, you ready, Taco?
We're ready.
Go ahead.
All right, we're going to go with 8.
8? And we're talking consecutive, back to back to back to back.
Yep.
Okay.
8.
Offense.
8.
A, 3, 8. You guys both said 8. It's actually only 3 back to back. Think about teams back to back to back. It was 3. It was the Green Bay Packers, 1929, 30, and 31. You were awarded no points, either of you.
Hey, at least we threw them off.
Yeah, we'll do them off the game.
All right, final question, guys. Final question.
Packers.
Green Bay Packers,
Packers.
29, 30, and 31. Final questions, final question. How many titles in the NFL, how many world championships, Super Bowls, whatever you want to call it, do the Atlanta Falcons have? This will be the offense first. Is it 2, 0, 4, or 1? 2, 0, 4, or 1. The offense will have the opportunity first for the final question. The Atlanta Falcons, how many titles do they have? And we're talking Super Bowl, NFL, championship, whatever. Not divisional. A, 2, B, 0, C, 4, or D, 1.
They were the oldest team, right?
No, Cardinals were the oldest team. The other bird. You got your birds mixed up. All right, offense, your answer.
0.
0 for the offense?
0.
You both got it right. It was 0. 18-11, offense with a commanding lead, but there's still 6 coaches shows left in the season. We're believing that. Thanksgiving football on the way. Let's give it up for your Georgetown Eagles friends.
Commanding lead.
Awesome. Let's give it up for these young men, as they are always awesome. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, guys. Tommy, I won't forget next week when I see you, Tommy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming your Georgetown Eagle football president, Mr. Pete Thiel. Come on up, Pete. I almost said Alex. Well, Pete, appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do for Georgetown Eagle Boosters, and excited about the game coming up on Thursday. Tell us about it. I know there's going to be some food somewhere.
Yep, we have so first off, before we get to that, tomorrow night, Wednesday, we have the freshman and the JV games. And those, I don't have all the locations in my head, but the JV teams will be playing at home, and I believe one of the freshman teams is playing at home. One freshman team is playing on the road at Connolly, I believe. So we have that tomorrow night. Then Friday we will have, Thursday. Being off a day really throws off. You get in a certain sequence of how things flow, and I'm off. So we're having taco breakfast like we normally do on game day for the boys at 8 o'clock. Then we will be tailgating at Cheddar's Grill down by the field. And if you go to the Booster Club Facebook page or our Twitter feed, the details, the address is on there. It says 5 o'clock. I think probably most people get there around 5:30, so it's time to eat and get to the game a little bit early to watch the end of the warm-ups.
What is that? The Georgetown Twitter, I don't have it memorized. GT Eagles football, is that it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Go to Twitter. Go to Twitter and search Georgetown High School Football Booster Club. That's what I do each time.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I wasn't putting you on the spot. So, but again, it's right there if you search for it. And make sure you follow Georgetown Eagle Football on Twitter and also on Facebook.
Yep, we need to get people out. We on the road. we need more people out. Invite your friends. Get people to come to the game. Have people come see what a Texas high school football game looks like if they haven't been to one. I mean, we want to get more and more people. Bring bells, bring clangers. Like, we need to get people excited, get people going so that our side of the stands doesn't just – we don't want to be flatline. We want to be active. We want to provide energy because the boys feel that when they're playing.
Absolutely.
They may not hear us. We ask them, did you hear us yelling for you, chanting? They say no, but when the crowd's dead, they go, oh, man, it was just kind of calm. Like, they don't hear the individual things, but they hear the combined excitement from everybody. We need more people at the game for that.
Absolutely. Let's do a test real quick. How many people are going to Pflugerville on Thursday night? How many people?
Everybody.
There we go.
Awesome.
We got 700 people in here tonight.
Invite your friends. I was going to ask you if maybe the counter kicked up when Alex came up here, my son, because all the hair care product providers
there you go.
would be tuning in.
There
due
you
to his
go.
long, luxurious locks.
Yeah, I didn't even ask him about the hair, man. So, well, again, we appreciate it. Pete, any final comments from you? I know we got to have people show up. Final comments from you, Pete.
Just get people out to the game. Invite friends. Bring a carload of people. We can't wait to go to the playoffs. It is so much fun. Last year when we won a game and then went to the next one, it really is a sense of community. It creates community all across Georgetown. Everybody come on. We want to get as many people involved supporting the boys as we possibly can.
Awesome. Well, friends, we appreciate you being here tonight. Again, please subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll know exactly when we go live. If you're watching the YouTube stream right now, simply click on the subscribe button, and you will get alerts when we go live here on SHN Sports with Georgetown Eagles. Basketball season about to start up soon, and we're still looking for sponsors to make basketball season possible on SHN. So if you or someone you know is interested in advertising, we have games as low as $25 up to $250 for an entire season. We do need sponsors to help make those broadcasts possible for both the boys and the girls teams. So please see me or email Rob at shnsports.com for more information. Also wanted to remind you about the game on Thursday. Come out there. Come to Cheddar's Grill. It's going to be fun, Pete. Thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Rob. We appreciate you covering Georgetown sports.
Wanted to remind everybody as we close out tonight, reminding you we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody tonight needs you. Let's give Burger U one more round of applause. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Burger University. And on a count of three, we never forget it. Please join me in an Eagle fight never dies. 1, 2, 3. Eagle fight never dies. We'll see you on Thursday, friends. Have a good night.
This is Taco Williams, defensive back.
This is RJ Moreno, running back. This is Noah Drum, wide receiver.
This is Mason Meyer, defensive end.
This is Johnny Knight, defensive back.
This is Dylan Cahill, slot receiver. This is Gage Leggett, defensive back, and you're listening to Georgetown Eagle Football on SHN Sports.